The Swift Arm, your weekly session of chat from the UKOCR and adventure running scene. Each week, pub landlord Alan and our favourite regular Ian discuss races, runners and anything else that comes to mind. So pull up a pew, pour yourself a drink and join us at the Swift Arm.
You're listening to the third most popular podcast for people who think that Whippet by Devoe is all about a small breed of sighthound most beloved by northerners.
Ian, my friend, welcome to Swift Off again. How are you? How's tricks?
I'm good, Alan. How's tricks with you?
Well, actually, talking about tricks, I have actually been doing magic tricks over Christmas. I've got a whole new audience now. Now I've got a new partner. I've got all their family to try all my old card tricks on. You know, the ones that your dad taught you and your mum taught you when you were kids or you learnt at school. The one where you flip the card round 90 behind your back and you fetch it round and then you go, that's not it, is it? And then you can shuffle them and say, this is it. But you really know what it is. Oh, mate, I've got loads of card tricks I've been showing people. You'd love it.
Probably would, but I presume that means that you're no longer with this partner, so it was a good run.
Oh, you know I'm still with Paula. But yeah, it's amazing over Christmas and that. You know, over Christmas, I've got all the days mixed up. I mean, yesterday, I had to message you about giving me a description for the UKOCR podcast, for the fitness racing podcast. You never leave it that late. What happened yesterday?
You know what? I have no clue. I don't know whether I got some kind of illness over the holiday period, which knocked me out. My holiday period was really weird, Alan. I must have spent half of it in bed, just napping. You know, nanny napping, what we call it now, what cool kids call it.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of that and I can't explain it. So ever since I hit 30, I just can't explain why I just feel tired all the time.
It's because you've hit 30. It's old age, Ian. 30 is the new 50.
Absolutely. You know, when I thought 30 would never come. And yeah, it hit me like a steam train last year.
So what have you been up to over Christmas? Have you hit the sales?
You know what? I haven't. I think I've done one thing, and I've got a list of stuff I need. I've got tons of stuff I need, Alan, but I just can't bring myself to part with money. I think I've been spending too much time with you.
You're waiting for the National Running Show, which we'll talk about in a bit. That's what you're waiting for, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but the things I need, I don't think of a national running show. I need a rugby league season ticket. I need a new running watch. I suppose that'll be at a national running show, a new running watch. What else do I need? I need some more jeans, you know, just walking around jeans, and I doubt they'll be at a national running show. Or if they are, I don't think I want to buy them.
They might have some special type of jeans. You know, like you go to the running show and there's always some stand that's selling something weird. Was it some fancy ones that sold like base layers that were like tuxedos and things like that a few years ago? Was it Fancy Running?
Fancy Running. Yeah, I think I remember them. Not really my scene. I know some people love the running stuff that looks like it's something else, you know, people who dress up like little elves to go and do high rocks. I don't know if we know anyone like that, Alan, but
no Wil Chung on it. No Wil Chung wouldn't do it. No, definitely not.
Nah, no one would do that. Although, do you remember when Scimitar used to do like the drumstick lolly stuff as well? That was okay, I guess.
Yeah, they had some things, didn't they? Made you look like a drumstick. Like, what else did they? I can't remember what they had. Used to have. They had quite a lot at one stage. Was it Mr. Men or something like that as well?
I think they had Mr. Men as well. Yeah, they had quite a lot of. What happened to them? Did they just disappear with a lot of OCR companies?
No, Scimitar's still going. I actually got an email from them today saying they're at the National Running Show and to pop along, and they're still doing designs. They specialise in that. Is it something dye? Sublamination. They specialise in sublamination stuff now, rather than, you know, you get a shirt and then you have it printed. They don't. They actually just print the whole material. I think they made all their money from Ian Exeter when he bought all the Ram Run shirts from them, because he bought thousands and thousands of really expensive Ram Run shirts for them. And I think they made the money from him, and they've gone and said, yeah, we're cool for the rest of the 20th century now.
And Reaper as well, and Airfield Anarchy, they were all scimitar as well, weren't they?
Exactly, yeah. They made a lot of money from the OCR world at one point.
What was that process you just said?
Sublamination, I think they call it.
That really sounds like something out of Clockwork Orange.
In what way?
It sounds like that's what they do to him, you know, when he gets captured and they're trying to re-educate him, they sublaminate him.
You've been drinking too much beer, you have. Talking of beer, let's go on to the most important topic. What you want tonight?
You're going to get really mad. It's not a beer, but you're going to get really mad about it. I have got a Fanta, pineapple and grapefruit. Okay.
Oh, Ian, you're letting me down.
You know why you're going to get mad?
Go on.
Can you see that?
Lilt. Oh, it's got Lilt sticker on it.
This is what Lilt has become. There is no more Lilt. It is Fanta, pineapple and grapefruit from now on, Alan. It's a change. I know you don't like
Lilt,
change.
though? Does it taste like Lilt?
Yeah, it kind of tastes like Lilt.
But it's not Lilt, is it?
It's not. Next week it'll be called Marathon.
Yeah. Oh. Well, yeah, and then was it Snicker now? Is it Snicker now? It used to be Snickers. No, what it's called Marathon now. It's Snickers, isn't it?
And now it's Snickers, and people have just about got over that, and we've probably reignited it. And that. What's most confusing is if you go to America, they call some of our chocolates different names.
Go on, give me some, because I know you like the States. You'll have got some.
So what they call Three Musketeers is what we call Milky Way.
Three Musketeers? How do you get Three Musketeers from Milky Way?
I'm not completely sure. I don't know for sure, but yeah, and what we call, well, I don't think we have an equivalent to what they call Milky Way. There's that, plus it's American chocolate, so it's not as nice.
I was talking to someone the other day about food in different countries. How you go to the States and their pizzas are different to what they are in the UK. The taste is completely different. The bacon's different. And I've been to places in Europe, even in France, you can get fries in France and fries in the UK, and they taste different. They're only potatoes cooked the same way, but they taste different. It must be the oils and things like that they put in them.
Absolutely has to be the oil. Yeah, because ours is like, well, honestly, with most chip shops, do you really want to know what's in the oil by this stage?
I got a story about this, actually. When I used to live in Konigsborough, there used to be, I think we're called Braims, not Brains, but Braims. And they used to make all the oil. So they used to barrel it all up in barrels. And the factory was in Konigsborough, and they shipped it to all the fish and chip shops within, I would say, within 100 miles of Konigsborough. It was a very small place. My mum used to work there. She used to, the barrels they used to put the oil in were returnable. So they used to come back. And my mum's job to put them in the machine that cleaned them and things like that for a while. But yeah, Braims oil.
Braims oil? God, that sounds like a Pinky and Brain experiment, which, well, if you're playing at home, that must be on the bingo card by now. So, Alan, what are you drinking?
Well, I'm going to go with you, Ian, because I am back on the Brewdog. It's Christmas. Yes, I got Brewdog, everyone. And I'm on a Hazy Jane pineapple. So let's see if this tastes like Lilt, because Hazy Jane is usually fruity. So it tastes nothing like Lilt, but it's a good beer, Ian. It's a good beer. Hazy Jane pineapple. I like that. That's a good one.
think I've got one of them in the fridge. I'll have to try it at some point. And I told you last week that I got rid of a load of beer, didn't I?
You did, yes.
Good news is I've started to fill it up again.
With alcohol free, or are we going alcohol at the moment? What we're going?
Mixture of both. I've went and got some AF, and I also went and got some regular beer as well. And you know what, Alan? Do you remember the beer you got us last year?
Which one was it? Remind me again which one it was.
Bottles. So I can't remember
Oh
what
yes,
it's called.
yes. The different
That's
flavored,
still,
weren't they? The Belgian beers.
yeah, that's actually still good. I think that might be still good to like 2026. So I'm not sure what Belgium do with their beer, but it definitely survived the cold and is probably the healthiest thing I currently have in the house.
I think they're quite strong beers as well. Well, you mentioned Belgium. That's a great segue into one of my topics for tonight.
Go on then, Alan. What's happening? Are you talking about our Belgian listener who we've still not found?
We are, yes. So our Belgian listener will be happy to know that last week and the week before we released all the things about BOCRA, the Belgian Obstacle Course Racing Federation. And it was announced on Obstacle Racing Media last week. I think Matt B. Davis had the treasurer on one of his YouTube videos, and they talked all about it. And he mentioned that basically BOCRA were bankrupt. I reached out to Ronnie, and he's confirmed that they are. It's all going through courts. Okay, so BOCRAs are no longer, they are completely done. However, that's not the end of the thing, because like the Phoenix, yes, BOCRA is back alive. Someone else has taken it over.
Someone's taken over the name or the company?
Well, I'm only going on their social media because social media today has posted that they have joined forces with Kimber, which are an obstacle manufacturing company that make grip holes and things like that. And it says that they're going strong again. New pictures on their social media. So whether they've taken it over in terms of taking over the social media, stop them having to generate a whole new social media and get more followers or whatever, I currently don't know. I'm going to reach out to them again and ask, and I'll keep us updated when I find out a little bit more.
Yeah, speculation. It might be a case that the social medias were a bit of an asset. So maybe they've sold socials to these people and that'll make a little bit of money to probably pay the liquidators, I guess, or the Belgian courts.
Yeah. And Romy did say, people asked me, they reached out to me and said, the best way to find out who's at fault, whether it be BOCRA or FISA or whoever, is show the accounts. So I reached out to them, I just said, can you share the accounts? I got a firm no. They're currently with the courts and the solicitors and everything else. So I guess time will tell.
Which is fair, because anything that's going through the legal process, you kind of don't want it to be there for everyone to see, because you never know. Whereas our intentions are pure, anyone looking at it may not have as pure intentions.
Yeah. I would have, you're going to probably see things on there that are going to be X amount of pounds, and we know we could have put, you could have got them for Y, and we'll be saying, people will say, oh, well, they shouldn't have spent all that money on that. And they should. So yeah, I do understand a little bit of it, Ian. It is one of them things. But talking about money and spending money, I am tired of sales, Ian. Now, I know this is a shock to you. Please don't faint on me, because you know I'm a marketer's dream, but I am now up to my neck in sales, because they're not really sales.
Okay, what are they then?
They're just the same old thing for the same old price. And it's annoying. I've saved my money. You know, mentioned earlier on that you're wanting new things. I'm wanting new things as well. I don't know what I'm wanting. So marketers hit me up. However, the prices are no better than what they were pre-Christmas. That's annoying.
So what are you looking for, and what hasn't changed in price?
Well, I've seen the kit bricks have got a sale on, but they're exactly the same pre-Christmas. I've seen Innovate have got a sale on, exactly the same pre-Christmas. Oh, no, I tell a lie, because I got some Innovate socks the other day, some nice pink Innovate socks at £5 a pair. So maybe that was a good deal. But the Innovate trainers, all their clothing still the same price. I just can't seem to find a bargain in.
I actually found a sale. You know, I mentioned I bought one thing. Do you want to know what I bought?
What did you buy?
I bought some new underwear from Oddballs.
Is that one of those? Don't you have to subscribe to Oddballs? Isn't it a subscription package?
You have an option to, but you don't have to. And they had a mystery box for, I can't remember how much it was, but it was relatively cheap. And the intern likes their stuff too. So I thought, why not? I'll get some and that. And yeah, so they currently do have a sale on, listener. So if you can't get your kit breaks, you can't get your what else did you say? You want your kit breaks, you want your
trainers,
innovate trainers, you can go and buy yourself a pair of pants.
Are the bright colour ones? Because don't they the funky ones, Oddballs? I'm sure I've seen them advertised.
I have no idea. It's going to be a mystery box because it was really cheap to get a mystery box. With my luck, it'll probably be 4 packs of tighty whities or something like that. And I realize that's a horrible mental image, listener. So should we move on?
Yes. Talking about boxes, I ordered HelloFresh before Christmas and I froze my order for 3 weeks. And guess what I forgot to do? Cancel it.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say you forgot to pay your electric bill and your freezer has completely gone down.
No, I forgot to cancel it. And that means that I've now got to pay full price for a HelloFresh box. Who pays full price for a HelloFresh box? £40.
It's like Beer 52. No one pays full price for Beer 52.
No, you cancel them and then you open and get a new email address and order them again through that new email address. And things like that. Don't tell anyone I do that, by the way, Ian.
No, not telling a single soul. No one will be aware of this.
No. But anyway, I've got some HelloFresh. And I didn't even look at the menus either. Because I've got the menus are coming. Lentil shepherd's pie is one of the menus. Who has lentil shepherd's pie?
So is that shepherd's pie which has lentils in, or is that shepherd's pie where they've replaced the meat with lentils?
Replace the meat with lentils.
Oh, we're in the middle of Veganuary, aren't we?
Yeah. It's red January. Run every day in January. Have you run every day?
Let's see. It's currently the 5th of January, correct? Or it's the 4th of January if you're a Patreon. I confirm that so far I have run 0 days.
Ian,
and
I run 0 too.
And listener, if you're listening to this on the 14th of January, there's a good chance I may have run once or twice, maybe. Well, I've been meaning to speak to you about this. I have the dreaded runner's knee.
I know you mentioned this to me the other day in our little WhatsApp chat, and I'm thinking, how are you going to get around High Rocks?
Simple. I've been talking to a guy.
And what's this guy been telling you?
Well, he's not been telling me anything, but he's a very good athlete, and he currently doesn't have a ticket for Manchester.
How good an athlete is it? Well, wait a minute. This could be a good deal. How good an athlete is it?
He's got 1 victory outright, I believe, in pro, and 2 or 3 podiums.
Ian, sign me up with him. I could beat Wil. We could get Wil's time out the window. Wil and Kieran, see ya.
But yeah, listener, don't worry. At this moment in time, I'm still planning, but we will see. And to be fair, Alan, we don't know for sure that you're going to make it to High Rocks Manchester, because this weekend, what are you doing?
Oh, well, this weekend, I'm going to get a Hessian sack put over my head, shoved into the back of a van or a minibus, and taken 15 miles as a crow flies away from HQ and dropped off. And I've got 4 hours to make my way back.
I didn't realise you were having another stag do.
It does sound like a stag do, doesn't it? No, I'm doing the drop in. I'm doing the drop in Leeds. It's run by, I think it's Running Up Events. So it's like the shop Running Up. It's done by them. And they have them all over the country. But basically, you rock up. I think it was only about £35, which is quite reasonable. They blindfold you, put a hessian sack over your head, put you in a vehicle, and take you 15 miles as the crow flies. Drop you off. You're allowed to start your watch wherever you are, but then they put it into a sealed bag, and you can't break that seal, and you can't carry a phone with you. It's in the bag as well. Then the whole idea is they give you a map that's a paper map, and you find your way back to HQ 15 miles as the crow flies. It's going to be exciting.
Particularly because 15 miles as the crow flies from Leeds can cover an awful lot of distance.
It's funny enough, but 15 miles the crow flies is only 1 mile away from where I live now, which is very interesting. I could just nip home for a coffee if it's near here.
Yeah, as the crow flies, when you start running down the roads, it very quickly becomes 25.
Yeah, I think I've read a few articles on it, and it does say if it's 15 miles, expected between 20 and 25. So, yeah, it'll be interesting.
It is. We're going to have to, well, if I can't make High Rocks and you're lost, then we might have to get in a couple of ringers.
You know, the worst part about this, though, Ian, this is going to be a Jolly Boys outing as well. So, me, Jamie, Rob, Neil, we haven't had a Christmas. We haven't managed to get together before Christmas, which are my running buddies. So we're all doing this together, and it's in Leeds. So we thought, why not make a bit of a Jolly Boys outing of it? So I'm going to be drinking a little bit of Brewdog, I think, afterwards too, before I come home. So yeah, Monday's podcast might not be out on Monday.
Monday's podcast might not be out. And I'm now thinking of poor Linda and Libby Joyce, who were lost with you that time, with Rob giving directions. And you meant to get to Leeds. You're going to end up in York.
Hey, York's a good place to have a drink.
York's an excellent place to have a drink, but yeah. Yeah, no offense, Rob, but Rob's directions are, well, legendary, aren't they?
Yeah, Rob's directions, even with a watch with a map on, are legendary. You know, he can't read a map at the best of times. While we're just quickly talking about getting lost and that, Ian, did you read the news this week about the runner in the Pennines that got lost on New Year's Day and crossfell?
I didn't. What happened?
So a really well-known runner, Edward Catmore, has won quite a few races, fell runs and that. Went up to Lake District, place called Crossfell, and managed to get lost, and unfortunately he passed away. So a bit of a warning, I guess, for people out there, especially we've got this storm coming this weekend. Be mindful where you're running. Tell someone your route. Your Strava can be run live. If you're carrying your watch, a phone with you, run your Strava live if you run on your own. Just be careful. I really would hate it if we losing anyone, but at the best of times. This is sad news, this, but I mean, I didn't know this guy, but someone I knew would be even worse. So any of our listeners, really take care out there.
It's so easy to feel invincible when you're running, isn't it? Because you think of some of the things we've done, Alan, and then, yeah, you look back and think, that was stupid.
It is. We look at OCR and we sometimes think we are invincible because, especially when we do things like Tough Guy, Winter Nuts, they were always billed as the most dangerous thing out there. You signed the death waiver at Tough Guy, and it was like literally, if you die, it's your own bloody fault, and that was part of the magic of being able to go into work on the following weekend and say, oh yeah, I signed a waiver where I could have died, and it was quite safe. It was highly unlikely we were going to die, but we all signed this waiver, and we sometimes think we're invincible. So when you're out on the fells, and I've done this, I've run solo on the fells, but I've always told someone when I'm running, but I have run solo, and you can think you're invincible, even when the weather turns bad. You still think, well, I'm on a path, I'm on the right path, I'm on the right path. Next thing you know, you're not on the right path. You're on the wrong path, and you don't know where you are.
Yeah, so if you can, if the weather's bad, run with a buddy if you can.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt, Ian.
I was going to say, from that not great topic, give me some happy ones.
Well, I was going to, because talking about someone who doesn't run with their buddy, couldn't get my words out there. Kenya's Beatrice Chabot broke the women's world 5K record in Barcelona recently. Guess the time, Ian?
I'm going to say 16:02.
That would have been a great time. However, that would have been nearly 2 minutes slower. 14 minutes, 13 seconds. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh. At the moment, I don't think I can hit 1.5 miles in 14 minutes. What about you, Alan?
I was thinking exactly the same. I'm thinking, if I was at park run, she's finishing. If it was a 2-lapped park run, I reckon she might be in with a chance of lapping me.
Yeah, and if it was a free one, you wouldn't have even finished your first lap.
No. Oh my! I mean, that's crazy times. 14 minutes, 13 seconds. Absolutely phenomenal. What a time. How do we get these people? No, maybe not these people, not these real top athletes, but how do we get top athletes of their ability to run OCR? That's one of my quests to try and find out this year. How can I get people outside OCR to run OCR?
I guess you've got to make it interesting for them. And you know what? I don't know for sure, because people are motivated by different things. I think one of the things that goes against OCR, and perhaps why fitness racing has taken off to some degree, is the fact that you could run nuclear races 3 or 4 times and get completely different times. And it'd be nothing to do with your fitness or whatever. It'd be just a slightly different course or different obstacles. You don't have that comparability.
Different weather.
Different weather.
So many different what do they call them? Not favourables, different circumstances. Variables. That's the word. Variables. That would result in a different time. You're right, Ian. No, you're right. Because you run 10K in a road run. If you run, so I signed up for Wunwell 5K quite recently. So very close to me is a little village called Wunwell. They do a 5K race. It's a club run. So I've signed up for it. Every year it's the same route. So the only difference, or the only variable is the weather. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The rest of the time it's exactly the same route. So you know exactly what time you're going to get. You're quite right. But to me, in obstacle course racing, the thing that appeals to me is the innovation we're going along, and that every course is different. So I'm not worried about time. When I used to race, it was more about what position can I get, who can I beat, where will I finish. Maybe we need to go a little bit, get rid of the timing chips. Hear me out. I can hear British Obstacle Sport shouting at me now, saying, "Don't get rid of timing chips." Get rid of timing chips and look more for positions, and go down that route. I don't know.
That's true. Or maybe we're fishing in the wrong pond.
Oh, what pond shall we fish in?
So rather than aiming for these top runners or middle of the pack runners, why aren't we aiming for people who already like obstacles and getting them to start running?
Like,
so people like ninjas, people who are gymnastics, people who are who do climbing, indoor climbing. So these kind of people who are already into it, particularly with some of this short 3K course stuff, maybe that should be our audience or our potential target market.
That's a good point, that. I think especially on the 3 course stuff, because you don't have to necessarily be a quality, you have to be a quality runner, but you don't have to be a long distance runner. Most people can run short distances. To get to the top, they've got to learn to run fast, but I like that idea, Ian. I like that idea.
Maybe it's horses for courses. So maybe we target those kind of people for 3Ks, and for the longer stuff, but the less technical stuff, that's where you target your runners. Things like Muddy Furlong back in the day, things like Overlord, the Farmyard Jam, they're the kind of thing that you might get someone who is, okay, they're not winning podiums, but they might be top 20, or they might be consistently top 10 in their local park run. Maybe that's what we need to do. We need to target people for what they are, and we might need to start thinking about what OCRs are out there and how would you classify them.
I like that idea. Then that sounds different. Get people from different sports into it. I'm liking that, Ian. I'm liking that.
Yeah, I do think, and maybe this is something we can do on the website. Start classifying obstacle races so you can like grade how technical, because at the moment, something like NOPS and nuclear would be a little bit intimidating for most people. Would you agree with the?
I think some of the obstacles will be, yeah. I think if you're going to race them, definitely, without a doubt, you know, there's some of the more technical obstacles are out there, especially Challenge Cup, you know, Nuclear Challenge Cup. Nuts have gone a little bit down the technical side, you know, and their head-to-head is very technical. So there are quite a few technical races out there, or technical obstacles in them races, but they do tend to attract, some Nuclear do tend to attract a lot of the fun runners, though.
They do, but you were looking for the competitive side.
Yeah.
So put aside fun runners for one moment, and you're trying to attract these people who are setting 5K records, or not, but close to.
Yeah.
Maybe
I like that idea.
they're the kind of people who we should be putting down the Spartan route, or say DMX as well. You know, DMX, it's a fine obstacle course, but it's not exactly technical, and that's to its strength.
Yeah. Didn't Sam Winkworth a couple of years ago offer to take some good club runners and train them in obstacle proficiency to make them better obstacle course racers?
I think he did. I think the difficulty is, and this actually came up in the fitness racing podcast this past week where we did an FAQ for High Rocks. Dina Hogan said something really, really interesting, in that if you want to be one of the best in High Rocks, you kind of have to master 9 different sports.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, High Rocks has the same 9 every single time. For OCR, how many different sports do you have to master?
Quite a lot, Ian. You're quite right, yeah. There's a lot of different skills, a lot of different techniques out there. You know, the more technical, you know, you look at more your rock climbing. I know a lot of the top athletes are doing a lot of rock climbing at the moment. A great video from Ramonas the other day when he was on one of the pegboards in some rock climbing gym. You know, so obviously he's doing it. He's moving in that way and working on his upper body strength for them rigs. End of the day, though, Ian, it's a runner's sport. You can be average on a lot of obstacles, but if you're a top quality runner, you're going to beat everyone hands down.
You are, until you come up to a race with 4 monkey bars that you can't do.
Yeah. Unless they're penalty. We saw it in, was it Spartan last year in the Ultra Beast, when those Mexican marathon runners, you know, just out of the Olympic team came along and they did all the penalties and they still finished top 5, you know.
That's true. And again, this goes back to, we need to find a way of being able to get people to do the races which are most appropriate for their capabilities.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. At the running show this week, Rough Runner are going, taking their Travelator. Do we think that might attract people? Is the Travelator the right obstacle to attract people to an OCR?
Absolutely, because it will look good on Instagram. We will see so many Travelator videos come Monday, come Sunday. I think this is genius. Now, whether it's representative of the OCR community, that's debatable. But if it attracts 10, 15, 20 racers to try out their race because they liked messing on the Travelator, fantastic. Particularly, Alan, we get another bite of cherry soon because Gladiators is coming back, and everyone knows that the Eliminator is just an OCR.
Right. The Eliminator is just an OCR. So yeah, we need to be jumping on the back of that.
We really, really do. And yeah, I think it was a great idea for them to take Travelator. Is running show really this weekend?
Not this weekend, is it? I think is it 3 weekends to go? 24th I've got in my head. I'm gonna look at this now. So I'm gonna get up my my calendar, and it is 27th. 1, 2, 3 weekends away.
27th.
Yes, Saturday 27th and 28th.
Okay, that's High Rocks weekend as well.
I know. Yeah, I know. I saw that. That's why I can't go.
That's a bit of a swing and a miss, isn't it? But anyway.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Who's gonna? I don't think IROX is gonna suffer from it.
No, I don't think High Rocks will suffer. I think running show might miss out on some people who are in the OCR/fitness racing space who may or may not have thought about going to a running show.
But Manchester and Birmingham, what are they? 40 miles apart?
I wish they were 40 miles. We're about 100 miles apart.
Are they really that far apart?
Oh yeah, it's about a 2-hour drive.
Oh wow. Wow. I suppose people coming from down south who might be stopping over on the Saturday at IROX might attend Sunday.
Yeah, they could do. Yeah, and say how many people from Birmingham are going to come to Manchester High Rocks? I'm not sure. And how many people? You probably lose more people from Manchester who would be potential to go down because you can do the NEC in a day. We've done it easily in a day. So yeah, I think they might lose a couple of people, but saying that, will they notice? No, because running has so many millions of people doing it. And I reckon many of the running shows attendees are first time runners.
Yeah. Yeah, true. True.
What else we got, Alan?
Tough Mudder, you've put something about Tough Mudder medals. It's now been announced which medals for which event, because we've been talking about this for a while, haven't we? About where are we going to be able to get all the medals from and things like that.
Yes, we did. If you remember, a little while ago, we were discussing this, and it turned out that it was the American that they were advising us which particular medals would be at which particular place. But they have announced, Alan, and should I go through it?
Fire away, Ian.
Okay, so this is interesting. You know how you got the three ones, which are Electroshock, Arctic Enema, and Cage Crawl, yeah?
Yes.
Well, Tough Mudder UK has called it Design 1, Design 2, and Design 3. So we have no clue what is in each one. But to help you out, Design 1 will be available South East, London West, Scotland, and Midlands.
Okay.
South East, if I recall, is Pippingford, I think.
Yep.
Design 2 will be Manchester, Yorkshire, and South West.
Okay.
And Design 3 will be Birmingham, Germany, London South, Northwest, and Paris. So if you're in Europe, you're out of luck, you'll have to attend either London West or South East to get your full collection. If you're planning, to attend Berlin and NWR, Eiffel, and or Paris. I like what they've done, to be fair, Alan, because most people in the country, you could attend your three most local events and get all free.
Okay.
So, for example, me in Manchester, I can obviously I can attend Manchester or Yorkshire for Design 1. I can then attend Midlands, which is not that far away for Design. Sorry, that was for Design 2 for Manchester and Yorkshire. Design 1, I go to Midlands. Design 3, I go to Birmingham or Northwest. If you're from Scotland, it's a little bit harder because you attend Scotland. You'd then probably go Yorkshire, And then after that, your nearest is either Birmingham or Northwest, depending on how you're going to drive it. But I think they have tried to split them up as much as possible, which I think is a good thing.
And isn't there a silver and a gold? So are they for different distances?
Yeah, you've got your big distance of 10 plus miles, and then you've got your 5K to 9.9 miles, depends how we're feeling on the day course. So to collect them all, I guess you'd have to double up on the day, and or you'd have to be there for a weekend.
How are they going to get people to know what they've done? Is it going to be an honesty thing, do you think?
What do you mean in terms of what? Which distance?
Yeah.
They'll do it the same way they always have. You'll have a wristband.
Okay. But if you're running a 10 miler, what would then stop you from cutting it short and doing the 3 to 4 miler to 10K
Yes,
or 15K?
that would be on an honesty thing, yeah. But you would get a 10-mile award at the end. But yeah, I guess it would be on a kind of honesty thing.
Yeah. Maybe time chips, I don't know.
To be fair, in my experience of doing the old half and the old full, the biggest issue you ever face would be people from a half wanting to do obstacles from the full.
Yeah, and I think that's what you're always going to see, aren't you? People wanting to do the half or pay the half, but want to do the full. So
I don't think it's going to be a major issue, but at the end of the day, they're only cheating themselves and they don't get qualification for anything. So what's it matter?
Yeah. I haven't signed up for Tough Mudder yet. I still haven't got my season pass code.
You still haven't got your I tattoo my body and I get free tickets code yet?
That one, yes, exactly that one. I wonder if Spartan will let me tattoo my body and have free Spartan codes as well.
Probably not. I think they're trying to move away from tattoos generally, aren't they?
Oh, is it a bad thing now?
Not tattoos generally, but I think this idea about permanently marking yourself for the sake of getting free tickets has kind of gone out of yeah. It makes sense when it was really the honkies for honks. It's when people are doing it just for free tickets, it becomes a little, because you fell in love with Tough Mudder. No issue with yours, but yeah. I do wonder if there's some people who go for a tattoo just for free tickets and then regret it later.
I fell out of love with Tough Mudder first though, and then I fell back in love with it when I did ETM. You got me back in love with it. You made me fall back in love with Tough Mudder. This is your fault, Ian.
Yeah, and the irony is, since you've had that tattoo, I don't think I've even run a Tough Mudder.
No, you haven't. Oh, come on, what we got on your notes? IROC's announcing wave times. What's this? Have I got a wave time? I've got my wave time for Manchester.
We've not got the complete wave times yet, but they have started to announce the windows. It is just being tinkered with. There was a couple of mistakes initially. Go over to the Fitness Racing Podcast IG. By the time this comes out, we'll have the wave times on there. Alan, I'm fairly sure that our wave is going to be somewhere between 7.5, 7.
In the evening?
In the evening.
Oh, lovely. I don't know if that's good or bad. I think I did it that time, last time, I remember rightly.
I think it might have been 8 last time for you, so yeah, it might be slightly better.
Yeah, slightly. Only slightly, but yeah. So not too bad.
The only thing that's odd, and we had this in London, is most of the men are going on the Saturday and most of the ladies are going on the Sunday.
Oh, that's a bit strange.
It's just the way it works out logistically with the weight. So on the Saturday, you have the pro women going out because they use the same weights as the open men. So it does make sense from logistics, but it does from a selfish media point of view, it's frustrating because we have to attend both days to get a mix of genders.
Oh, Ian, stopping in Manchester, that's such a hardship for you and the intern to stop in Manchester overnight because you've got to the media.
Well, I don't think we're going to stop over this time. All the hotels rooms were way too expensive, so we'll just catch the tram. It's going to be hell, Alan. It takes a full 30 minutes on the tram.
Ian, that's shocking. That's shocking. Do they not know who you are?
I know exactly. They should find a way to make it go faster, I guess. But so that's that. Putting prices up. This was something that Dan Lister pointed out to us, and I hadn't even noticed it. How many races put their prices up on the 1st of January?
A lot. A hell of a lot.
And it's kind of, I want the businesses, they can do what they like. It just seems kind of counterintuitive when no one's got any money, everyone else is putting sales on, and yet races are pushing their prices up.
You know, I've never even thought about it. Overload puts its prices up this weekend. We put them on the 5th on that. But yeah, I never really thought about that. Ours is 4 months before the race, so
Yours just works out the way it does, and I suppose many other places it's just a case of at the end of the month they put it up. I will say Tough Mudder were always the worst for this because they would put their prices up 2 days before most people got paid, which I thought was a little bit sharp practice.
yeah, that's not good. That's not good. I know why. I'm going to tell you why we've put our prices up, because we've now got 20 days to get our medals ordered. And that's why Overload's put his up, because you've got to get your order in 3 months before your event. So ours goes up now so that hopefully we get the influx of people purchasing the tickets at a lower price, because the Overload price is quite a big jump. It's a £10 jump, so it's a 20% jump. Or in fact, it's a 25% jump, I think. So yeah, it's quite a big jump. So we're hoping to get everyone signed up now so we can manage the medals. Because the worst thing is, Ian, in a race is you either under order. If you under order medals, it's a nightmare because some people can walk away without a medal. But then, for a race director's point of view, ordering more medals than needed is a huge cost. You know, it's if you order 50 medals more than you need, you know, that's like 500 quid. That's 500 quid down the Swanee.
And there's no way you can't really sell them to anyone. It's just scrap metal.
Just scrap metal. 500 quid of scrap metal.
So yeah, I understand from your point of view because you need to get yourself in a position where you are just buying a few spares, and it's like if more people turn up, it is what it is.
Yeah. We try to keep ours down to as low as possible. But yeah, it's a tough one. But you're right. You know, I never even thought about that. We always put ours up. Every price rise we have is always the first week of the month. So not on the 1st, because we know not everyone gets paid on the 1st. You know, some people get paid on the 2nd or the 3rd of the month. Some people get paid mid-month, in fact, you know, but we always sort of give it a week after payday before we put them up.
That's the right thing to do, as opposed to, like I say, putting them up a few days before, or having surge pricing where, you know, the first 100 tickets are X and then the second 100 tickets are Y. I really get frustrated by that because it just seems, again, just taking advantage. But that's me, and I'm not running a business here, so it not for me to judge, but I will give an opinion. And from a consumer point of view, I don't think it's great. But speaking of business, Alan, did you see this thing on the BBC about HMRC?
No, they're not after me, are they? They haven't published my name, have they?
They haven't published your name yet. But firstly, I think we're okay because UKOCR is a limited company and everything goes through UKOCR Limited, correct?
Yeah, yes.
So we're fine. However, people who make some money on eBay or Vinted or a dozen other online things where you can make money
Yeah.
and turn it into a business, they might want to, well, start paying taxes.
Ooh, a HMRC clamping down on them?
It's not just a clamp down. HMRC are now forcing, and it's not just in the UK, it's a European thing, I believe, or a worldwide thing. But previously, they just had to guess you were making money. Well, from 2025, so i.e., covering from now to the end of 2025, all these companies have to let HMRC know of anyone who's made over £2,000 on their platform.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. That's very
So
interesting, that.
it
So that
is.
could, a lot of people could, because even selling a few items, I sold a car. I sold a car on eBay once.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not here to give tax advice. I will say that if you are making a fair bit of money from these kind of places, then it's probably a good idea to go and get some tax advice. Lots of time, you won't have to pay any tax, you'll just have to declare. So I think if you are selling things secondhand and you're getting less for it than you bought it for, then Alan, as you know, you're a businessman. So this isn't a tax advice, it's just a fact. Usually, if you're selling things for a loss, then you don't pay tax on it.
Yeah.
So if you have just, bought, I don't know, a pair of trainers that didn't fit and then you flog them for 60 quid and you paid 100 quid, well, you've made a 40 quid loss on them. So you're not going to pay any tax on that money you've made. But if you're making money, the tax man is going to start asking questions and you get £1,000 a year allowance, I believe, Alan.
Something like that, yeah. I don't know the exact figures. I've never used it, but it's going to be interesting, Ian, because I know some people who actually do make money on eBay. You know, they tend to go to places like very close to us. We've got two Nike stores, one in Wakefield, one in Rotherham, that are the discounter stores. And when they have sales on, I know two people that go and regularly spend over £1,000 on trainers, and then they sell them. You know, they sell them on Vinted, they sell them on eBay, Pre-Loved, all these sites that they can, even on Facebook Marketplace, for more money than they paid for them, which makes it very interesting. You just mentioned there though, if you buy a pair of trainers for £60, yeah, and you've worn them for 5 months, you might have only worn them twice. You then sell them for £40. From a tax point of view, you've got to have the receipt for the £60.
Potentially, yes. That's the issue. You'd have to prove that you've made a loss on them. We are talking about whether or not you'll ever be audited, correct, Alan?
Yeah. I mean, it's highly unlikely you're going to be audited. It's going to be the companies that are making quite a lot of money, you know, the tens of thousands of pounds that are going to be audited on eBay and Vinted and that, as opposed to the individuals. I like it though, Ian, because it's going to clamp down on a lot of these charlatan companies. I've been done by eBay before. I remember when we started the podcast, I don't even remember this story, Ian, but we started the podcast and I bought this fancy microphone that was coming all the way from wherever it was. It was reduced from 500 quid to £100, and they sent me a thermometer. You know,
I remember that.
yeah. So maybe it's going to clamp down on them companies.
It will, and again, I can see this won't be a popular thing. I'm not pretending it's going to be, but on the other hand, if people are making money, and people often get angry about, oh, mate down the pub who's making all this money cash in hand, we can't have it both ways. We can't only want them to clamp down on people we don't like. So, yeah, listener, if you do make money, hey, Alan, I think on the Patreon now we just nudge over the £1,000, but again, thankfully, it's through the company, and we can show we're not turning a profit because we've got business expenses to cover it. But yeah, if you are making money from eBay or even if you're a Deliveroo driver, probably time to get your financial affairs in order, because the last thing you want is HMRC asking you. And it's not just, Alan, a case of them giving your name to HMRC. They're giving your bank details too.
Oh, wow. Even more interesting.
Yeah.
Which is
So-
is quite funny, because I have actually heard that it's not just HMRC are clamping down on more than this. I've actually heard this myself, that if you're on benefits in the coming years, if you're on benefits, your bank has got to give the benefit system, DWP, your bank details as well, as in details if there's any income coming in. So if you are on, let's just say, universal credit, and then you've got an income coming into your bank's got to notify DWP that you've got an income and you're on universal credit.
Again, it won't be popular, but when we think of every public service that's underfunded, I can't help but be happy that at least you're doing something. Now, whether they use the money for anything, that's a completely different argument, Alan. But at least they are trying to do something. I just hope it achieves something. I hope what it doesn't achieve is basically driving a lot of good businesses out of business.
Exactly. Yeah. Good point. Good point.
So what's
this note you put on here? You put a note on here, beer tour. I want to know the beer tour. I've been waiting the whole episode for the beer tour.
Right. This past Saturday, I met up with some solo mothers, and we went to some tap rooms over in Manchester that I didn't even know existed, Alan. These are behind the back of Piccadilly Station, which is always scary. This is Kieran McAvoy, Glenn Morris and Wil Chung, and the intern joined us as well. And yeah, they sent me, Will, dropped a pin and told me to come and find him. Honestly, Alan, walking to this place, I thought someone nicked Will's phone. It was an industrial estate. It was the kind of place I wouldn't run down. But you then go in and it's really cool. It was called Track Brewing Co. And across the road from it was Cloudwater Brewery Tap Room. I think you've had Cloudwater, haven't you?
I have, yes. I have had Cloudwater, yes. That's a good pint.
Great pints. And maybe, Alan, depending on time that we finish and depending on whether or not you're feeling up to it, maybe we pop there after High Rocks.
That sounds like a deal, and that sounds pretty good. I like to are there these like new tap rooms that are popping up everywhere, like the little small pubs where they've got craft ales on and things like that?
Well, they're effectively a microbrewery, so they're brewing their own stuff there. And they've got taps on, and they even had a really nice AF on at the Cloudwater, which I might look out for.
Very good, Ian. I like that. I like a good pub, a good beer tour like that. I will send you pictures of mine on Saturday.
Please do. I can't wait to see York. Go to the Shambles.
Go to the Shambles.
Yeah, go to the Shambles. Okay, what else have we got? Let's go with good luck at McTough. Good luck to everyone. Please don't die.
Yeah, hey, it's one of them events up there. The weather's not looking good this weekend, Ian. I've seen in Edinburgh, it says cold. It says highs of 3 degrees. Now I know Knockhill's just north of Edinburgh, so highs of 3 degrees. It's going to be cold, Ian. So yeah, wrap up.
Wrap up. Be careful. Stay with a buddy. That's what we've been saying.
Get your big coat out.
Night.
Yeah, get your big coat out.
Big coat out. Speaking of buddies, Alan, it is the OCR Buddy Awards. We don't want to take any of the shine off them. Head over to OCR Buddy Awards and go and see who won. I can't believe some of the winners, Alan. It was unbelievable.
Shocking. Loved it. Absolutely amazing. Well done to everyone who won.
Well done indeed. Final thing I wanted to finish with. Have you got any more topics?
Nothing on my list here. No, I'm absolutely out of topics now. Oh, I have one more. Park Run.
Okay, yeah, Park Run.
Park Run. Now you can buy all your kit at sportshoes.com. They've teamed up with sportshoes.com. Took them 20 years to do it, but they're there.
Well done to Park Run for finally getting into bed with someone we can trust to deliver decent kit.
Yes, exactly. I like it.
But we got that, and that's actually a nice segue because Park Run is an intro to a lot of people into running. And with that time of year where what we locally call the 6 weekers are in the gym.
Yes, they are. They're in
And
there.
they are, but I'm gonna come down and say, try not to be a gym snob, listener, as much as you. It is hard, and because I was having this conversation at work today, because the other day at the gym, I was getting really, really annoyed because I was doing a hard workout, which was a minute on the rower, so many lunges, a minute on the assault bike, and then so many burpees. Okay. I was angry anyway because that's a horrible workout. It really, really is a horrible workout. And then I got onto a road to start my next set, and I turned over to the assault bikes, and there was 3 people on them, and they were just pedaling, Alan. They were just pedaling, similar to people who just walk on a treadmill, pedaling on the phones. And I just felt myself getting angry, and I'm in the wrong. I know I'm in the wrong because they've got just as much right to use those as I do. But it didn't help me feel any better in that moment.
No, I mean, I'm not at gym at the moment because I'm just concentrating on purely running at the moment. Bit of Iroxy stuff, but mainly running. So I'm not in the gym. I used to hate it at this time of year. You rock up, and normally I'm always been a gym man that goes at 5 o'clock in the morning. 5 while 6, it's quiet. But you would get people in it, and you would get 10 times more people than you never did. So there might be 50 people in there, and you want to go and use a piece of kit and someone else has got it, or they don't even put the kit back where, because that annoys me when they don't put the kit back where it should be. And it's like, you've got to fight that urge to say something. And because at the end of the day, the way I look at it is these people who are using the gym now, there might be 50 more people in your gym when you go. But if 2 more people stay, then that gym's making money. If that gym's making more money, it's got more chance of stopping open because they need it. The gyms need the money. It's their time of year. This is their time of year where they make the money. And we've just put up with it for 6 weeks in. Just 6 weeks. Think of it. Count down to Valentine's Day, because at Valentine's Day it stops.
That's true. And you are right. We all start somewhere. You've talked about you walking from lamppost to lamppost, which is what I told these people on the assault bike to do. I told them, clear off, get outside, run, walk on that lamppost, and don't come back until you're fit and healthy and can use the assault bike as it's meant to be used.
Yeah, I've got visions of you doing that.
I'm kidding, listener. I of course didn't do that. I waited my turn like a civilized person, but I did feel like it. But no, you just never know. And you are right, Alan. Of the 50 people who are currently in the gym, maybe 5 will stay. But the good news, 25 will forget to cancel their direct debit like you did for HelloFresh, and they'll be funding my empty gym in March.
Yes, Ian, yes. You're happy about that, aren't you? They're going to forget.
So true.
Gives them right for peddling.
But no, listener, it is this time of year. Be patient with people because you've been there. And if it is annoying you more, go outside, go for a run. Don't try and use a treadmill. You won't get on a treadmill. Just go outside, go for a run, and just help people. Not in a creepy way, just help people because at times we're all new.
Yeah.
We all start this journey, and I'm not going to concentrate on the 45 people who disappear. I want those 5 people who stay to succeed.
Spot on, Ian. I like it.
Anything else to cover?
No, but we can turn around and say that if you're listening to this on our podcast, This is also our first YouTube podcast as well. So this goes out on YouTube, Ian. So if anyone wants to see our ugly mutts, head over to YouTube and they can see us talking. Same topic, nothing new, nothing extra than what you've listened to in the podcast, but it's on YouTube as well.
Well, I am hoping that Alan puts in stunt doubles for me and Alan. Let's see what imagery he can conjure up. I am going to say something, Alan. Happy 150th episode.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's 150, 150 Swift Arsenal. Oh, my God.
Yeah, unbelievable. We'll have a proper celebration in about 6 weeks for the 3-year anniversary. 3-year anniversary. Unbelievable. But it is still a milestone. So well done, Alan.
Yes, yes. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being my buddy for 150 episodes.
Fine. Well, for most of them, we occasionally had a few guests, haven't we? We've had Martin, we've had Will, we've had the landlady Sofia in as well, and a few others. So thank you, anyone who's ever come on the show. So, Alan, on that, I'm going to say it's a goodbye from me.
And listeners, once again, thank you for listening. It's much appreciated. To all our patrons, thank you. Going to give you all a shout out, I think, next week. We haven't given you one out for a few weeks. Thank you for listening. You take care. You stay safe. And I hope to see you next week after the drop. Love you all. Bye.